We're kind of in the middle, we're always in the middle. We're on page AyinBase 13. The line starts with the Chassidus yeday. About 1/4 or a third from the bottom of the page. So we're explaining the principle of a tzimtzum. Both the function of the purpose of the tzimtzum, and how it actually provides what it needs to provide. The tzimtzum is that it completely, like the emotional, the mashpia and the makabel. We discussed yesterday the idea of mashpia, that it is distinct from malamed. Malamed is speaking to the Talmid's sechel. He's already about sechel, and he's speaking to him at a sechel to sechel level. He's teaching him what he doesn't know yet. Mashpia is in a totally different position. Mashpia reaches in to, so to speak, inside, as an insider, to the source of the sechel, to the neshama of the sechel. And from there, he draws out and helps the Talmid to realize the sechel element that surfaces from this. This is why it's called hashpah sechel. Just as hashpah gashmis. If one is providing somebody with his gashmisic needs, he's not just telling him, go to your house and take this and take that. He's teaching him how to cook. Hashpah, he's actually giving him all the ingredients. And he's telling him how do you get it and how do you obtain this. This is hashpah. Hashpah sechel is exactly the same thing. Everyone has, in a manner of speech, the potential for sechel. But we're not talking potential. The potential for sechel is actually a very deep and a real part of the human being. This is the sechel, the otzen and the oinik. The real living life aspect in the person, the neshama. But from that neshama to draw a sechel that is actually applicable to understanding the circumstance is a long trek. It requires a lot of development. Take a very simple example. But we're saying, a person eats in the market, he doesn't sit peacefully around a table and eat, he just runs around, he's like a kelef. How do you bring out this sechel from someone, from a Talmid? Does he have it? Of course he has it. He doesn't have it on a sechel level. He has it on a neshama level. He's a human being. Here's the element of value, of spiritual value and respect. The most important aspect of this element that we're talking about is that he senses and recognizes that life has also a giver of life. The source of life. Life is a reality. Life is to be respected not because I need it to eat my ice cream. Life is infinitely superior to everything that we can translate it into. Because life is actually representing the source of life, the godly presence. This is what life is. I was saying in the morning, Melech Chai V'Kayim. Because there's a presence of the Melech, this is why I have a neshama. And this is why the neshama is of such great significance. Because actually, it is a gift from the Melech. This, in essence, everybody has. But to realize this, especially to bring it down on the sechel level, this is what the mashpia's job is. This is what his mashpia's sechel. He bestows, he actually works with him to bring out the sechel aspect from his own neshama. And it's completely distinct from malamed, from teaching. And this is why there has to be a tzimtzum, because without the tzimtzum there is no meeting between the mashpia and the makabel. Yesterday we had discussed the mashal of the place of 770, and in 770 there are two distinct elements. There is the oil of 770, and then there is location of 770. When I say I'm going to 770, it can mean two very different things. The first 770, the real significant 770, that is about Shem Tov speaks about Mokim Sheresin Shalom Shomhu. Where a person's will, this is where he is. Like we quote from the Yera Rebbe. I remember what he said. The Babich is, wherever they are, they're in 770. You know the story? That 770, yes, that's an Neshama 770. And if a person wants to be there, he's always there. Then there is a 770, the geographic, the lower level 770, the physical level 770. That needs to be identified and needs to find a ways to get there and so forth. As I was thinking this over, I listened this morning, it's clear that these two aspects, in describing the tzimtzum in Etz Chaim, that there was a tzimtzum in the oil, and the oil of Poshet was moved to the side. Nasa cholol u'mokim ponoi. We discussed this many times. It's a cholol mokim pon. Cholol means a vacancy. Mokim pon means available space, available place. What's the difference? Available place speaks about a place within a certain context. Like I have place for you at my table. Let's make place. It doesn't mean place, physical place. It means belonging. Many times, Mokim yesh b'rosh, you have a place in your mind. Can you relate to it? Belonging. This is different. This is the mokim, the mokim ponui, the mokim that ultimately develops internal mitzvahs. Because this mokum has a context. Cholol is emptiness. Cholol is not emptiness. It does not at all relate to any source. So when it comes down into Gashmis, the pure Gashmis is like in the Cholol. You have 770. 770 could be in the Cholol, no significance. It could be here, it could be there, no significance. Then it is our job to transform the Cholol into Mokim Pon. And reconnect this Cholol to its source, to the godly source. All right, let's go back. Okay, again, I said about a third from the bottom of the page, AyinBase 13. The line begins, as a result of this tzimtzum. And the tzimtzum is that the Rab, they're talking about the mashpia Mekabel, that the mashpia has removed, he concealed the oil sechel, his own oil sechel within himself. As if he had never understood. As if the sechel never revealed itself. And as a result of that, nimtzobei surfaces in him the oil sechel hashaycham kam, the oil sechel that can be related to the makam. So now comes the question: if he does never understood, so how does he identify the sechel hashaycham makam? So now he says in parentheses, Vim heyois, for although Chehahisamos hu ki'ilu lehiskil eza sechel, that Hisamos is such, it's as if lehiskil eza sechel. It's as if he never understood eza sechel. What means eza sechel? Any sechel. If he still stands head and shoulder above the Talmud, he's not going to relate to the Talmud. He is now on par with the Talmud. You have a neshama, I have a neshama. Let's begin. So it's a real Yisavos. Concealment.
So how's he going to teach him?
How he's going to teach him is not a problem. How is he he's going to get the sechel?
What does that mean, get the sechel?
He lost it, right? He gave it up.
Wow.
Kilo Yishkil Eza sechel.
Is that like the Malcolm Panoi in the Marshall Simpson?
One second. Okay. So here's the difference as we're going to see. Hold on for a second. Kilo Lehishkil Eza sechel, as if he never understood any sechel. Mikol Mokoim yet still. Liheyoisoi oimed beoise inyan. Because of the fact that he stands in that inyan. What does that mean? He stands in that inyan. This is the difference. He doesn't have the cholol. But he's not in the cholol. He's in mokim ponut. The context is there. The reality is there.
That's just part of his reality.
This is part of his reality. This is his thing. And then he begins to draw it from that source. And then he can draw it in a manner that he can also transmit to the Talmud. But the say, this is an important we discussed a little bit yesterday, left it of today. Union is an extremely important principle. Namely, that all sechel, everything that we understand in Torah and Chassidus, in Torah and mitzvahs, in human understanding, it is not enough to know the maneuvers. How do you go to say, it's simple, just walk this way and you'll be in 770. You're never going to be in 770 that way. You're going to be in the hollow of 770. You're not going to be in the place of 770. To give an example, somebody wants to join, a Talmud wants to become a Talmud in 770. It's very simple. Go there and you'll be a Talmud. You're not going to become a Talmud. You'll be in the Cholo. You're not going to be part of the group. To be in 770, you have to, there's a lot of prerequisites. So this is what he says. AyinBase Rotzo Leimer, which means to say, Shahisa Hu, that this concealment is Rag Behagilu, is only effective Gilu. Effective Gilu means the revelation, the conscious awareness. Avam Mikol Mokoim, but yet still, Oimei Behelem Be'atzmei, he still stands Behelem, and deep down in himself, not begila, but deep down in himself, he doesn't lose it. He still stands in that inyan, and deep down in his soul, deep down in his subconscious, you may call it, in his koiches hanefesh, he still stands in that inyan, shehiskil, which he understood. And therefore, as a result of that, this is how the sechel and sechel kabel surfaces. He is now there at the beginning of the process, internal to himself, and he has this makabel and he says, "Hey, here's how you should understand this thing," because he himself sees it from a very fundamental, a very stripped down level. Okay, now after the parentheses.
Could I just ask, but
That's how he originally, perceived the Inyan, and that's how he got. That's how he got it.
That he got. But how? I may say all the time, the sechel. There's the whole development of the sechel.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the element. What is the neshama of the sechel?
Which comes after the whole development.
No, which is there all the time. But when you are considering the sechel, that remains. The essence of it remains.
Uh-huh. What he's concealing is the whole development, how he got the whole circle,
exactly.
what how he related to it originally. Okay.
One of the principles of klal of human intellect, particularly in Torah, Ayid, one of the principles of Ayid, of the thought process of Ayid is, like the Rambam says, the first principle is that there is a motzui rishi. First principle, motzui rishi mamtzi kol nimtza. Somebody who has delved into this and developed a complete world view on the basis of this motzui rishi. And now, whatever he sees the motzui rishi. He sees the godly order and everything. And he is going to come to explain to somebody what's a temple. Oh, a temple is a mitzvah malchus. He doesn't know what you're talking about. So he has to do away with that. Even though he understood it and he really lived with it. He has to go back to the core, Motzui rishi. This is the basis of the entire sechel. This motzui rishi, this is an Indian that the Talmud has without knowing it. This fantastic blindness, the stupidity, saying the world developed by itself, is something which people don't relate to. You can convince him, and in the end he's going to lose it, practically speaking. But everyone wakes up into a living world. Living world, hey. Something is keeping you alive. Hours of sleeping, the world was alive. This is inevitable. So here we have a common ground. Now we can begin to understand what the world is from this common ground. You know, my child, you have to respect things in the world. Why should I respect this table as a piece of wood? Please, it's not a piece of wood. Right? This is how you begin to develop the science, the sechel hatalmid, on the basis of that which is commonly true. The Rav, he lost essentially all the explanations, but he is involved in that principle of the small tradition. When he begins, he immediately starts looking for the more tradition and everything.
That's common. So the most tradition you're saying is common.
The more tradition itself is common, but the Talmud is not aware of it. And here is where he can find the common sechel between him and the common Talmud. Look, this didn't come by itself. Somebody conceptualized it, somebody built it, serves a human purpose. That's already based on the motivation principle.
Why do we say that the Talmud is at that level? In other words, and is that sechel?
That's sechel.
So in other words, the Talmud, we say that he has sechel and potential in his neshama. Yep. We also say that on the revealed level, the Talmud is holding at the level of Matzah Rishon.
No, Matzah Rishon is not a revealed thing. It's not a sechel. This is the yesod for sechel.
So the Talmud also has a yesod and he starts. He builds from there. That doesn't disappear, or that doesn't.
If you come into my home, are you sure this belongs to somebody? What makes you so sure? It's part of the world. Are you sure it belongs to somebody? Because there is a whole context here. Of course it belongs to somebody. Not because you know this house belongs to somebody. But it's the house is on Crown Street. Crown Street is in Brooklyn. There's a whole context. Wait a second, where are you going? I'm going here. There's a private home. All right. So this is how the oir sechel hashaychel amkabel surfaces by him.
So you don't deal with the Talmud's revealed sechel at all. You sort of put that aside.
No, you do. You use misholim to explain to the Talmud things that you want to explain on the basis of his revealed sechel, of his existing experience. That's what emotion is all about. The Rebbe explained to a boy who came into him a mashal from baseball. You know the story. Oh, yeah?
No.
It's an interesting story. It's a little bit big span of time. So this boy was by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe asked him, "Do you play sports?" Yes. What sport do you play? Baseball. So do you go to a baseball game? Yes. Why do you go to a baseball game? You play yourself. This is a totally different thing. This is the real thing. So the Rebbe says, now you're becoming the real. This is the real. This is for real. Till now you were playing a game. Now this is for real. Many other things. Okay, here is the next challenge for us.
Not little leagues anymore.
Huh?
Not little leagues anymore.
Right. ובא בבחינס נקודה כלוליס בהלם. This oil השכל של התלמיד. I explained last night, I hope there is oil sechel hatalmid, even though this is at a totally insignificant level, like I say in the cholol, but there is oil hasechel. Let's understand this principle, oil hasechel. What is it, oil hasechel? That this is 770 Eastern Parkway, like we saw last night. And in order to get there, you have to go this way and that way. What is the oil hasechel? There is, again, two different ways of looking at it, from a cholol perspective and from a makim pona perspective. A cholol perspective says like this: you know why 770 is over here? Because there's a building before it. You can't be in the same place. So you have to go over there. In other words, there's no significance of its location, where it is, what it is. It falls out this way. It's like everything in the world is an accident, right? The big turmoil and the molecules are slashing here, colliding against each other, and it happens. Oil sechel says no. This is the whole design. We are aware, we know that there is what's called urban planning. Everything is planned. A street is not where it falls out to be. A street is where it was planned to be. For various purposes, to represent a street, a human city. So this is makabel. This is a very simple thing. This is part of the cholol. But there's an oil sechel, there's a sechel in it. There's an oil. It represents something. So in order to be able to relate to that oil sechel shel hamakabel, he has to step away from his own sechel completely. Because he is not into cholol altogether. He's into higher and bigger things. But then, nimtza by oil sechel shel hamakabel. That by the makabel, even though the makabel is in a entirely different level, he's on the cholol, in the physical place and so forth, but there's an oil. There is a way to put it in the right place. And in this sechel, bo b'bchinas nakuda klolis behelam. And this sechel, the oil sechel shel hamakabel, comes in a nakuda klolis, comes in, so to speak, it reveals itself in his mind in a nakuda klolis, in an overall point, principle, behelam, and it is behelam, it is internal to his sechel. But in this helam, in this nakuda klolis, he perceives where is the sechel, where is the sechel element at the level of the mashpia, of the makabel. Shehi hamagbeles as klolos hashpo, and that defines the overall, the general hashpo be'eze eifen shetiyah. How is it going to be mushba? How is it going to be presented? Be'eze eifen shetiyah. What is it trying to present? This nakuda is magbil, focuses and directs the hashpah in a certain direction, in a certain manner. And now we have to interrupt.
Should we have an announcement?
Yeah, go ahead.
la